"She's buried under that tree," my grandfather whispered, pointing out the window to the front lawn. Oh boy, I thought, here we go again. For 90 years old, Grandpa was physically capable. He could move, do basic chores, and eke out a decent existence. His primary weakness was his mind. "Who's buried there?" I asked, humoring his senility as I adjusted the angle on his lift chair. "The girl with white hair and green skin." Green skin, I wondered. That's new. I fixed Grandpa's chair to the reclined position and made my way to the kitchen. "I'm gonna make us some sandwiches." "All right, sweetie." I left him there in front of the TV. This weekend was my monthly visit. My siblings and I switched weekends to make sure Grandpa wasn't alone. The location was inconvenient because he lived in the ass crack of nowhere. It was a good 2 hours to the nearest town. If you needed something other than general store items, you'd be driving for a while. After I finished the sandwiches, I slid one on a plate and placed it in Grandpa's lap. "Thanks, honey," he said and started chewing with yellow teeth. I sat down on the sofa, cracked open a murder mystery book. A golf tournament was playing on TV. I hated golf, but that was the only thing he liked, so I occasionally glanced out the window at the beautiful vista to keep myself from boredom. Grandpa's property was strange in that it was high up in the mountains, appropriate for farming, but his specific land hadn't been built for that. He lived in a mobile home just beneath a hill. There were trees decorating the terrain, but the only one on his quarter-acre lawn was a pine my father had brought up years ago as a sapling. It was well over 12 feet now. "She's buried there," he mumbled, devouring a slice of ham on bread. Why does he keep saying that? I focused my gaze on the tree in the lawn. What an odd thing to hallucinate. 2 hours later, I was interrupted by a call from my brother, Stu. "Hey, Grace," he said, his voice as cheerful as ever. "How's Gramps?" "Coping," I said. Grandpa had fallen asleep in his chair, a half-eaten sandwich in his lap. "He's resting after a light lunch." "Grandpa?" "Good, he needs that." I returned to the couch, saved the spot in my murder mystery. My eyes fell on the lonely pine outside. "Stu, can I ask you something?" "Sure, sis." "Has Grandpa mentioned anything about a green girl buried under a tree?" Stu fell silent. "Stu, give me a second. You there?" "Yeah, just a minute." A heavy sigh. "When did he start mentioning it?" "This morning." "Don't let him talk about it." "Why not?" "Because he gets all worked up. When Jess and I were there last month, we found him digging a hole under the tree at 2 in the morning. He thinks someone lives down there. He belongs in a care home." I turned towards Grandpa, noted his frail shoulders, the muscles that had carried bales of hay and iron tools for years. Now his body was fading. "Grace? I'm still here. Make sure he doesn't talk about it." It was 5:15 when I cleared the plates from the dining table. "Thanks for cooking, sweetheart." "Of course, Grandpa. Need help getting to bed?" "No," he sighed, seemingly deep in thought. He pushed himself out of his seat, waddled down the hall. It took him so long to reach the other end of the trailer. "Grace." He stopped at this bedroom door. "Yes. You do believe me. About the girl under the tree?" "Yes, Grandpa." "Good. If anything happens, stay by my side. I'll protect you." "Huh." With that, Grandpa cracked open his bedroom door and slipped inside. Whack. My eyes shot open. It was dark. Maybe 1 in the morning. Whack. A hard metallic noise thundered in my ears. What was that? Whack. I stumbled out of bed. Disoriented, face aching with exhaustion, I ripped open the blinds. A man was swinging a tool at the foot of the pine tree. "Grandpa?" I raced to his room. The bed was empty. Whack. The metallic clangs grew louder. "What's happening?" I ran to the sofa, grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and stumbled outside. The moon was barely up. Cold air bit my skin as I pulled my shirt close, covering my body. Just ahead, Grandpa was hunched at the 12-foot pine, swinging a pickaxe.